Hey guys, it's Stuart here, and I just wanted to cover something related to my habits. I wake up at 4 a.m. typically every single day, including Sundays, and sometimes that surprises people. So I'm just going to cover a little bit about why I do this, but I decided to do a little bit of switch up so that you can have a little bit of fun as well. So one of the things I did this morning was I took 5 minutes and I asked ChatGPT what are the advantages of starting the day at 4 a.m. This is what it spit out to me. Increased productivity, better use of daylight, improved health, reduced stress, more free time, quiet time, better sleep, personal satisfaction. I gotta say, it's not particularly really the reasons why I wake up. So I'm just gonna do a rundown of each of them and give you my spiel on how exactly I view waking up at 4 a.m. So let's start off with the first one. Increased productivity, absolutely yes. So while I can, do a count of how many hours I actually work, what happened in the good old days of COVID was, the whole world was shut down, right? So first thing that I did was I realized that my cats would wake up earlier. So at 4 a.m., my Persian would come and, try and wake us up. And because it was time for breakfast. So we had to shift his breakfast time a little bit later, but the habit of waking up at 4 a.m. just stuck. So I decided, hey, I've already had my 6 or 7 hours of sleep. Let's get to it. So that did increase my productivity. I didn't realize how important it was until I started doing it. So I wake up, I do my videos, I put together some plans to, get my next coaching clients, and I'll just go with the grind. By the time it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, I would be justifiably productive, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there'll be about 6 hours of work with zero distractions. Now remember, during COVID, it was like silence, right? Nobody was out there. Everything was kind of like hunky-dory. It was easy. Everything out there was silent. Nobody was out, and I found it strangely pleasing. I could hang around with myself, I guess. But that kind of ties in with something else, which was the quiet time piece. I'll come to it later on. So increased productivity, I'll work for about 6 hours, maybe even 7 hours. By that time, I'll get my workout in. Then it's time for lunch. I'll cook lunch. And the rest of the day literally was like free. I didn't have to stress myself over everything or actually anything. And I'll just, keep going. One of the advantages of waking up early though is I get to get clients from different parts of the world. And that really was a bit of a game changer, really. So I had New Zealand, people from New Zealand, I had people from Australia, I had people from the UK who actually took on my coaching programs, which was also fantastic. Second one, better use of daylight. I'm not so sure. It says you can make better use of daylight by getting tasks done in the morning. I think that's probably more associated with other countries that use daylight saving time. Over here in Singapore, it's like 30th of January today. It's 7 a.m. and it's dark outside, right? So it's not as if we get very much daylight at these times. I'm just utilizing it for the purposes of really holding myself to a particular discipline. In fact, I used to wake up. The moment I woke up, I'll start hitting the gym, which is kind of like my gym rack over here, just next to me. Problem is, I've got neighbors downstairs in my apartment, and what that means is that if I do deadlifts or I drop my weights too heavily or too quickly or too suddenly, these guys wake up and they're gonna have a bad shock, right? So it's not so easy to wake up. There are some disadvantages, but I get my stuff done. So next, it says improved health. Research has shown that early risers are typically healthier and exercise more regularly than those who stay up late. I don't know. I think it's a choice, man. Much of the improved health idea, I could be waking up and, the start of the day could be a beer or something, but I don't do that. So what I would typically do is I'll wake up, I'll train fasted, I'll get some videos in, I'll watch a few videos just to, educate my mind, figure out what is missing out there in terms of content, and possibly do a little bit of research, reading, stuff like that. Today specifically, I was preparing for a training program that I'm going to be conducting in about an hour. So that's how I spend the early part of the day. Next one, reduce stress. Rising early can help you avoid the rush hour. There wasn't any rush hour during COVID, man. Reduce stress, anxiety caused by traffic, public transportation. Well, I will give you this. Whenever I'm going to a training program that I need to get familiar with my classroom, the layout, I need to do my setup, I will go early, especially if it's a new place or it's a new environment. And I will utilize that time to just weave into the environment. I'll go in, get a sense of how it's like for me to be standing up there and delivering the presentation, having fun with the participants, things like that. Okay, so reduce stress is definitely one thing, but not necessarily because I'm just avoiding rush hour. I don't always have to go out, but definitely the quiet time, just going downstairs, taking a walk around, breathing the fresh air, I think that's a great advantage. Number 5, more free time. By getting an early start, you can free up time in the afternoon and evening for leisure activities, family time, and relaxation. Well, so now that I am co-founder of Superscaling, I don't have very much free time. I have very little free time. I do have lunchtime. Does that count? I do have dinner time. And very often if I need to save time, I'll just take dinner, lunchtime, put them together and just have one really long period where maybe 2 or 3 hours where I can actually take time off for myself. Then after that it's back to work, so it's one of those things where I don't know whether it gives me more free time. I feel that whenever I'm doing my work, I do have quite a fair bit of free time doing the things that I like. So I guess that classifies that I have free time from the get-go. Next, quiet time. Yes, I agree. Early hours can provide peaceful, quiet environments, ideal for focus and deep work. Yeah. So whenever I wake up and get my workouts done, it's not just gym workouts, it's also the mental workout. I'll sit down, I'll do my meditation, I'll do my mindfulness stuff, and then I'll make sure that I get some mental food in, right? I don't always work out, to be fair. There are some days where, like yesterday, I kind of like busted myself. I was doing 5 different exercises, 5 sets, high reps. So I do have quite a fair bit of muscle soreness right now, so I decided to give myself a break today. Only because I know I'm going to be walking a heck of a lot today, throughout the day, because as a stand-up trainer, that's what you do. You stand up, you walk around, you interact with the participants, so that's gonna take up quite a fair bit of calories too. In terms of quiet time, I do enjoy the quiet time. I really enjoyed COVID, and here's what happens with waking up at 4 a.m. in Singapore. Construction begins at 9 a.m. on the dot. So if there's construction going on outside of COVID mandated periods, the drilling begins. Now, there was a period of time where they were doing some works upstairs and they started at 9 a.m. and it was running conferences, right? Zoom conferences and so on. It was terrible. So I really, really hated those times where you hear knocking, piling, drilling, even traffic. Fortunately, I'm not too close to heavy traffic, but it does get heavy at times. So quiet time is just great. Sometimes I wish, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I wish I just go back to COVID all over again. Number 7, better sleep. Going to bed early and rising early can get you a good night's sleep. I'm sorry, ChatGPT. Research shows that the best sleep that you get is the sleep within the hours of what you're used to. So if you go to sleep at 12 and you wake up at 7 and that's your regular routine, then chances are you can feel rested because that happens to be your routine. What happened for me though is when I remember waking up at 4 a.m. and it was just like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this, right? So I decided that I will continue with my day in spite of the fact that the cat was up, and I ended up making a decision therefore to just catch up on my sleep the next day. Terrible sleep, right? So trying to catch up on sleep, sleeping in the afternoon, terrible unless I'm recovering from something. Like there was a period of time where I was really working out really, really hard, and I would find myself getting so exhausted. So I'll be sleeping about 1.5 to 2 hours in the afternoon. Cumulatively, I'll have about 9 or 10 hours of sleep. So it's not that you get better sleep. I also had to adjust my timings to get used to the 4 a.m. slot. So now, if I wake up anything later than 6 or 7 a.m., usually that day is messed up. I'm telling you, my productivity just completely disappears. But I tend to reserve those for periods where I know I'm going to have a long break and I don't have any other interruptions. Okay. Number 8, personal satisfaction. Accomplishing tasks before others even start the day can bring a sense of accomplishment and personal satisfaction. ChatGPT thinks that I'm thinking about other people and their day. I don't have time for that. I'm just thinking about what I can do and what I can focus on. All right. So one of the things about ChatGPT is, while it's sometimes a very helpful productivity tool, I mean, come on, these are just completely random, and fair enough. It's just an AI software that's undergoing its training. But taking a look at these 8 pointers, I'm so glad that I have a chance to share with people, my own thoughts, rather than say, what does Stuart think about waking up at 4 a.m. and probably ChatGPT will come up with these just random things. My key advantages would be quiet time. I think I work better in the morning. Not all the time. Sometimes my own self-talk gets ahead of me, and as a result, I sit down, I do waste quite a fair bit of time, precious time that I need to get some things done, right? However, not all things are gonna go at the pace that is fast and furious all the time. This is the start of a new week. I'm filming on Monday, and I do believe that there needs to be a switch up in the cadence once in a while. So it's okay if I woke up like this morning. I woke up at like 4:15, allowed myself up to the 6.5 hour mark because I slept a little bit later yesterday. Did I get good sleep? I did get good sleep. Did I wake up well? I woke up well, right? So there are some days where I still follow the routine and I don't wake up well. And on those days, I just cut myself some slack. I need to recover. I know that my sleep is important for me. So I'll just work on that. And some days where I don't have any choice, I'm feeling really tired, I don't sweat it. I just wake up my body by going for the exercise, routine, cold shower, meditation, stuff like that, to just wake up, get a nice cup of coffee, and then I start my day as if it were an okay day, right? So I don't spend time thinking about those. I most certainly don't spend time thinking about other people and what they think about my achievements. That's irrelevant. I'm more interested in how I get ahead and how I feel that there's progression. So I don't know. I suppose for most of us, waking up at 4 a.m. isn't really the thing for you to do. That's fine. I'm not advocating it. I just find that it's extremely therapeutic for me as an introvert to wake up, sit down, have absolute peace and quiet, and try to sustain that peace and quiet for as long as I want. I might be reading a book, I might be going inside my head, trying to plan out some stuff for you guys. But at the end of the day, being with myself, with my thoughts, and kickstarting the creativity, oh my goodness, that's one of the biggest advantages, I think. As I watch these videos, sometimes something hits me and I want to do something different. I record stuff, I go and do a bunch of research, put the research together, and then I try to get these videos out to as many people as possible. So in a nutshell, do I believe that waking up at 4 a.m. is necessary? No, I don't think so. Do I feel that it's beneficial for introverts? Yes, I do believe so. Morning weather is so much better than nighttime weather, in my opinion, right? You can tell because if you say you have quiet time at night, that's nonsense, because you'll see that other people are turning on their lights all the way until 12, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. And then when you really get the real quiet time, it probably starts at around 3 a.m. So I might be amenable to wake up at 3 a.m., right? Maybe even 2 a.m., depending on how early I sleep. And just for the record, I sleep at about 9, latest 10 p.m., right? So that gives me ample enough time to get my rest. And I must say that it's a routine that I've started to love and I completely enjoy. The only thing that I can't enjoy is enough days or nights out the way I used to. But hey, I've got a selected group of friends. I will make adjustments for them so that the next day especially if I go out for some drinks, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to wake up the same way at 4 a.m. But what I will do is I will ensure that I still have the sufficient amount of hours of sleep. So it might be waking up at 6 instead. If we have a late night out, it'll be about 11 or 12. Get back, still wake up at 6:30. That's good enough for me. As a result of this, I don't know. I mean, if any of you are interested in taking a look at the 4 a.m. routine, I'd highly encourage it. Test it out for a couple of months, see how it works for you, and who knows, you might enjoy it as much as I do. So until the next time we have our videos, I hope that a switch up in the routine which has empowered me could potentially help you to elevate yourself beyond suffering and also enable you to take more actions for abundance. I'll see you in the next video.